Welcome to the water project of Nico and Eric Reed. This is Nico Reed. This is Eric Reed. This is our water project. This is cat food, and that's cat water. Don't confuse the cat water with the water project, because the water project is here. As you can see, we have a submersible water pump. The water from the pump comes up into the vertical holding tank. From the vertical holding tank, the water can go down into this container, which is routed into the water scale, which dumps its water at regular intervals. Also from this container, water is routed up to another holding container. And water from there is routed into the float valve container. We'll come back to the float valve container in a moment. At this level, from the vertical holding container, water drips into this other storage container, which comes down to this siphon system. And we wait until the water pressure in the holding container is great enough to start the siphon system going. At this point, the water pressure in the holding container is not great enough for the siphon system to go. So you see that the flow meter shows 0 flow. Now, let's come back down to the float valve. Water fills up in the float valve container until the float rises enough to release the spring-loaded valve at the bottom of the float valve container. You can now see the sponge rising up. The spring, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the spring is extending inside until there's enough tension on the spring to release the valve and allow the water to exit. Let's come back to the siphon. Still the pressure is building in the siphon container, however there is not enough pressure to start the siphon flowing. We'll come back. And we'll come down to the other siphon valve, which is a completely passive siphon valve. Water drips from the bottom of the siphon container down through a valve which only allows a little drippage of water to come down into this container. Inside this container is a siphon valve. As soon as the water level gets above the siphon valve, the water is automatically ejected. It's filling up again. That one, okay, hang on. And there it goes. I want to remind you about this clear container. Water is coming up through the bottom. This is actually a pressure container. There's pressure in this container, which is sending the water into the float valve container. Let's come back and visit the siphon container, which is still filling up. And yet still there is not enough pressure to start the siphon flowing. Therefore we're going to cheat. We're not really going to cheat. We're going to adjust the flow of water coming into this container so that there is more water flowing in and the siphon will activate more quickly. Filling up the container and watching for the siphon flow. And there it goes. We see that the flow valve is showing that there is positive flow, and everything is just so happy. And that is the end of our demonstration today. I thank you so much for your time and attention, and invite you to come back again to see Nico Reed and Eric Reed's water project. Sayonara.
This is Nico Reed.
And this is Eric Reed signing out.